Hey, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, I almost didn't get an upload today because my internet went out. But, luckily, my iPhone 8, trusty old faithful, hotspot is working for me right now. So, I'm going to do what I can right now. Hopefully, the internet doesn't go out. But, guys, today's video is going to be about the settings that I use in Warzone. I've had a lot of people request / ask about what I use for mouse sensitivity to what I use to get higher FPS in the game. And the first thing I want to start off before I even get into what I run, stop building your computers and wasting money on computer parts to try to optimize to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If you are not making money off of this game, it is not worth trying to optimize your computer to run this game better. Because as of right now, Call of Duty is optimized very, very poorly. If you have played Fortnite or any other Battle Royale in the past, every single one of them runs better than this game currently, which is really sad to say because when you play multiplayer online, it runs really well. And like, for me, I get over 200 frames. When Warzone first came out, it ran over 200 frames, but it seems like every single patch, it just keeps getting worse and worse. So I'm gonna show you guys what you can do to optimize your computer and settings in the game, but don't worry about upgrading your computer just for this game, because for me personally, I've been running in like 150 to 170 frames, and I should easily be getting over 200 frames in this game. But as a computer guy, I'm like, oh, I want to build a new computer so it runs better, because you watch like all the pros with better computers, and yeah, we're gonna skip that portion because there's no point in doing it, guys. If I load up any other game, I'm getting 240 FPS plus. Like in Valorant, I get like 300 FPS. This game is just horribly optimized. Just wanted to get that out there before we start this. So let's jump into our settings, guys. I'm going to show you exactly what I run with my computer and break it down for you. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to jump into the settings here. We're literally just going to go across the top here in left to right order. So you're going to kind of be jumping around from my personal settings to graphic settings to a couple different things here. So hang in there with me. We'll get through it all right? So I have my mouse sensitivity at 4.0, and then I have my mouse set to 800 DPI. If you don't know what your DPI is on your mouse, you have like a standard crappy mouse, it's set to 800 naturally. So it's definitely something you really need to know, because I know when I bought this mouse originally, it comes with like 16,000 DPI. You're like, oh, more is better. You know us, more is always better. More is not better, guys. Set your mouse to a reasonable speed. I wouldn't go anywhere over 1600, but there are some people out there that do have success with higher sensitivity. So that is just what I run. Yeah, but don't touch anything else under there. Big thing here is the aim down sight. It usually sets to legacy. I have it on relative. I think it is something that does great, and it basically just keeps everything similar. So when you're rotating in every direction, no matter what, it's always gonna be the same. When you have legacy on, when you zoom down sight, it changes that speed sometimes. So keep it on relative, keeps you more consistent. Other than that, you want everything else disabled. Nothing changed here. Move on to the next. We won't touch any of these actually, guys, these key bindings or anything like that. That's kind of your preference, and there's not much that I can help you with. That's just gonna work for everyone, because I come from playing other games like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Certain people, I've tried to copy their key bindings. I'm like, there is no shot that's gonna work for you. Everyone's hands work different. Everyone has stronger fingers. Make your key binds to what works for you. So don't take anyone's advice on this key binding is way better than this one. Everyone's hands are different, guys. Like in Fortnite, when I was building, I had completely different key bindings because these two fingers on my hands are terrible. So I hardly use them for anything. So I know where my strengths are, know where yours are, and that is something I would give a huge tip to. Next, guys, we're jumping into graphic settings here, your general settings here. General graphic settings. I don't know why these are two separate, to be honest, but field of view, this is a big one. You can literally gain a lot of FPS by dropping this. So your standard console is set to 90 or 90 field of view. If you want to save some frames, I would probably set it to like 100 or 105 to 7. You'll save a little bit of frames and get a little bit higher FPS by lowering this. So if you really want to just max out your frames, definitely set it to 90. I wouldn't put anything below 90, because below 90 you're not gonna be able to see anything in Warzone. But I have it at 120. It obviously is going to take my frames down a little bit, but as you can see, you get a wider field of view, and it is a big part of this game. And then a big one here is put it on affected, guys. Affected you can read it here, but it pretty much says independent, which is the original one. Aiming down sight zooms in the field. So you know when you scope in Call of Duty, it like brings you into it. When you have affected on, it doesn't do that. So it just stays the same. So it's very consistent. It's like I was talking about with the other setting. We're always looking for consistency. Consistency. So that's why we run affected. If you haven't tried it out, telling you to try it. I was a little bit of a disbeliever of this one at first, but I noticed almost every pro started running it, and it really does work, guys. Next, don't worry about any of my brightness settings. It matters what kind of monitor you're using. Every monitor has different brightness settings. You have it set up differently than I have it set up. So whatever looks good to you on these. Other than that, I would probably say the big one here is going to be the square minimap. Square minimap, you can just see a lot more on it, guys. You can see a lot more, as you can see in the picture here. Put it to square. Other than that, you can just pick what you want to show up in your corner of your screen here. You can see I have my FPS, latency, GPU temperature, GPU time. I don't even know what GPU time is, so you don't have to have stuff up there, but I like to put it up there just so I can see if anything's like going crazy, if my computer starts lagging or something like that. Next, we have full screen borderless. You can do full screen or full screen borderless. I haven't noticed anything different for me. Personally, for streaming, full screen borderless works better, but if you're not streaming, go full screen. Why not? I don't think there's any difference in performance, in my opinion, in this game specifically. Some games there is. This game, I haven't noticed anything. Render resolution is a big one, guys. There's a weird glitch in this game where it'll randomly set it to like 66, and you're like, why does my game look like crap? And you're like, you go in here and keep it at 100, 1920 by 1080. If you are playing this game at a competitive level, unless you have a 1440 monitor, you're probably not going to be playing anything past here. You can like go all the way up to 4K if you want, but if you're playing at a competitive level, want to be competitive, leave it at 1920 by 1080. That is going to be your go-to. Other than that, on here, keep VSync off. If you don't know what VSync is, it kind of like limits your computer to make sure there's no screen tearing. You don't need that. The only time I would say to use that is if you have an absolute awful computer. You're trying to run this on like your old MacBook just to play with your friends. I don't even think it can run on MacBook, but MacBooks are awesome for college, terrible for gaming. But basically, only run this if you're getting like 30 FPS. Then you can turn it on. But if you're not getting 30 FPS, don't run it. Max out your frame rate to whatever the hertz of your computer are. So I run a 240 hertz monitor. So to get the maximum out of my computer, I need to hit 240 frames. I'm never going to hit that in this game because the game's awful. But if you have a 144 hertz monitor, set it to 144. If you have a 60 hertz monitor, set it to 60. Because at the end of the day, you're not getting anything past that. That is like your maximum like performance bonus you're getting from your monitor. So keep it there. Put it at whatever your monitor's at. I don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did. So display gamma just has your standard sRGB. And then this one's kind of important here, guys. We're going to get into some important settings here. So put everything on as low as you basically can, guys. I have very low, and then I've noticed this one really doesn't do a whole lot, but it makes the game look a lot better. It doesn't take too much out of your computer. So I put this one on high personally, and I put low, disabled. On-demand texture streaming I have enabled because it just has something to do with downloading the high quality textures. I've just noticed everyone was running it as enabled. It doesn't really affect you too much, so just leave it on. Streaming quality, I put this on low because it seems like this saves a lot of VRAM when you turn that on. So make sure you have that on low. That got added in like 2 seasons ago, or maybe it was last season actually when the Fin came out. I remember that's when this was. So definitely keep that on low if you haven't already. Then I have low, disabled, low, disabled, low. Guys, remember, the game doesn't look that much worse. I'm telling you with these settings, it doesn't look that much worse, but your performance of your computer is way better. So if you are running these on higher settings already, unless you have literally a supercomputer and I know this game can't be run well. Even the best computers in the world, like my man Huskers gets like 280 frames, and he's got like basically a car engine in his PC, and you just can't get the frames, guys. So no matter what, you should be running these on low. They're running them on low, and they have car engines as computers. Seriously, guys. So keep everything on low. This one seems to be the one that works the best for anti-aliasing. Usually, a lot of games I'll disable this, but I noticed that turning this on actually helped the frame rate. It was weird. I don't know. Don't really tell anything different from a disabled and on. So this one worked the best for me. Feel the depth of view. this is actually one that I had enabled originally because you're used to it in Call of Duty where it gets a little blurry when you zoom in. Like I was talking about earlier with the affected. Disable this. It really helps for just smoothness of the game. Don't have to worry about any jumping frames or forcing your computer to do something it doesn't want to do. Works out great. And then 0 disabled, 0 disabled. So everything off that you can possibly turn off essentially. I didn't change anything, so I'll just hit save. So audio. This is one that is super interesting, guys. So I have noticed a lot of people, streamers, everyone almost uses a different one of these. And I think I figured out why. Certain headsets do certain things better. So here I have some Biodynamic DT990 Pros. And these are like music headphones. So the highs are very high and the lows are very low. So Studio Reference works the best for me. But I know if you have Astros, which are a great headset, by the way. All these headsets are awesome with most. If you're buying like a $20 Walmart headset, you're not going to, it probably doesn't matter what you pick. But all these high-end gaming headsets, they all work differently. So you need to go in here and test out what works best for you guys because everyone's is different. Every headset is different. Audio is just a weird thing, okay? So master volume, it's all gonna be on you guys. Volume is gonna be pretty much on you guys. The only thing I've changed is the hit marker sound effects. So hit markers sound different with the classic, and I think they just sound cleaner. It's easier to tell if you're hitting your shots. Nothing else here really for you guys. And then, yeah. Other than that, if you are on controller, I have heard that you really need to have the contextual tap on, which I don't even know where it's in here. My friends just made me turn it on, I know. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I really appreciate y'all for stopping in. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. We are closing in on that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is absolutely insane. And like and comment below, guys, if there's something that you guys haven't noticed before in your settings that I helped you out with, or if you have any questions about settings, put them in the comments below because I will answer all of them for you. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and peace!